Regulation is a really interesting environment. If you think about it, regulations are put in place to assure that there's a really steady, well-understood floor for performance, for responsibility across the board in any industry. So regulation is something that people need to understand. The regulated industry and the regulator need to understand what that floor is and what compliance looks like. What does it mean to meet the regulatory requirements? And that requires conversation between the regulator and the regulated industry, because both have responsibility. The regulated industry has responsibility to meet the requirements that the regulator has put in place for assuring safety, for assuring efficacy, for assuring control, for assuring that they understand their product and control their product in the marketplace, for assuring that they're saying the right things and not saying things that they shouldn't say about the performance of their products. All of those things are regulated. Their speech, their products, their manufacturing, everything is regulated. And the way to assure that companies meet the regulatory requirements is to educate them. So the regulator, in this case the FDA, has to be speaking to the industry, teaching the industry. The goal is compliance with regulation. You don't get compliance by enforcement. Think about it as driving. You don't get people to follow the speed limit by stopping everybody. You teach them when they take driver's ed, you post the speed limits, and then you catch the people who are not complying. That's a regulatory approach. So with FDA and the industry, it's working together to understand what are the technologies, what is the right way to regulate them, what's the kind of oversight. And then there's an enforcement role. If FDA sees that a company is not complying, FDA has the authority to stop that company, to require that company to fix their problems, whether that problem is in their system or in their product. So the regulated environment is rich with a lot of different kinds of interactions between the industry and the regulator. In the end, the regulator has the upper hand. The regulator has the yes or no. The regulator has the authority to force compliance if it's needed. But the goal is to have the industry participate and be compliant. That's what protects all of us.